feel we should forego the restraints.
She is touched by something otherworldly.
Just watch Sinner and Final Destination. While Final Destination was solid, Sinner totally surprised me and turned out to be a masterpiece. But hey, the year's still young, and 2025 is shaping up to be a killer year for horror fans. We're keeping an eye on all the big scary movies coming to theaters and streaming soon. There's a cool 90s vibe making a comeback, with 3 classic horror franchises from that time getting rebooted. Here are the best upcoming horror movies of 2025. Bring Her Back. Directed by Danny and Michael Filippo, Bring Her Back stars Sally Hawkins, Billy Barrett, and Sora Wong. Released May 30th, 2025, this A24 production dives into the chilling consequences of resurrecting a loved one with an eerie sibling twist. Following the Filippo brothers' success with Talk to Me, this Australian horror taps into the dark tradition of resurrection stories. Definitely not for fans of happy endings, and apparently no one's read Pet Sematary here. The Ritual. The Ritual is based on a true story and follows 2 priests who put their differences aside to try and save a young woman believed to be possessed through some intense exorcisms. One of the biggest draws is Al Pacino playing Theophilus Risinger, working alongside Dan Stevens as Joseph Steiger. While exorcism movies are pretty common in horror, this one really focuses on its characters as much as the scares. It's directed by David Medell, known for Night Lights, and this is his biggest film so far. It was originally set for an Easter release in April 2025, but got pushed to June 6th. Perfect timing for summer movies. Along with Pacino and Stevens, Abigail Cowan from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina stars as Emma Schmidt, the possessed woman at the heart of the story. Dangerous Animals. Directed by Sean Byrne, Dangerous Animals stars Hassie Harrison as Zephyr, a surfer trapped on a boat with a deadly killer played by Jai Courtney and menacing sharks circling nearby. This survival horror thriller, releasing June 6th, comes from the indie Aussie horror master behind The Loved Ones and The Devil's Candy. Fans of Australian horror will appreciate Byrne's signature tense, gritty style in this intense showdown at sea. 28 Years Later. 28 Years Later kicks off a new trilogy based on the iconic post-apocalyptic horror flick 28 Days Later. Danny Boyle is back to direct his 3rd installment after stepping away from the second film. He's brought in a fresh cast, including Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Jodie Comer, Ralph Fiennes, Jack O'Connell, and Edvin Riding. The original 2002 movie, directed by Boyle and written by Garland, is famous for redefining the zombie genre. Ralph Fiennes mentioned in an interview that this new film centers on a boy trying to get his dying mom to a doctor in a Britain overrun by zombies. Filming wrapped in August 2024, with the movie set to drop on June 20th. The second movie in the trilogy has also finished production. Fans hoped Cillian Murphy might return as his character from the first film, but it's been confirmed he won't be in this one, which, as the title suggests, takes place 28 years later. Megan 2.0. The sequel to the hit Megan started filming in July and is set to hit theaters on June 27, 2025. Megan 2.0 promises to be an even bigger follow-up, with Megan facing off against another deadly robot named Amelia. It looks like it's going to be packed with more intense action and the killer robot moments fans loved in the first movie. Back in November 2023, James Wan mentioned that the sequel will dive deeper into society's worries about AI, taking the theme further than the original. Along with the original cast, supporting characters Cole and Tess are coming back, played by Brian Jordan Alvarez and Jen Epps. New additions include Ivana Sakno from Ahsoka in a lead role, plus Tim Sharp, Aristotle Athari, and Jermaine Clement in supporting parts. With Gerard Johnstone returning as director, fans are hopeful he'll bring the same magic that made the first movie such a hit. Skillhouse. Directed by Josh Stolberg, Skillhouse is a sharp satire on influencer culture, where 10 self-obsessed influencers are locked in a house to film a fake reality show. The twist? The world votes on who lives or dies, and the loser gets hunted by the deadly Triller Killer. The cast includes 50 Cent, Neil McDonough, and Caitlin Carmichael, alongside real influencers like Bryce Hall and Paige Van Zandt. Releasing July 11th, it's a wild ride of survival and social media critique, with 50 Cent as the standout to watch. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer is coming back on July 18th, with Jennifer Caton Robinson directing. She's teaming up with her best friend, Sarah Michelle Gellar, to bring back the vibe that made the original so special. Even though Gellar isn't in the new cast, she's been helping the crew and actors capture that classic feel. The movie pairs original star Freddie Prinze Jr. with a fresh group of teens being hunted by the fishermen. They filmed it in Australia, and Jennifer Love Hewitt is also back, reprising her role as Julie James, the final girl from the previous movies. Robinson hasn't directed horror before. She's worked on a rom-com and a dark teen comedy, so expect some dark humor mixed in with the scares. This sequel follows the same legacy style as movies like Halloween and Scream. Bambi The Reckoning. Directed by Dan Allen, Bambi The Reckoning puts a dark, twisted spin on the beloved deer character from the public domain novel Bambi: A Life in the Woods. Following in the footsteps of other horror takes on classic childhood icons like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Screamboat, featuring Mickey Mouse, this film is the fourth entry in the Twisted Childhood Universe series. Starring Roxanne McKee, Tom Mulheron, and Nicola Wright, it promises a chilling reimagining of Bambi's story, set to hit screens on July 25th. Together. Directed by Michael Shanks, Together stars Dave Franco and Alison Brie as a couple caught in a bizarre and grotesque battle to maintain their individuality. This body horror film dives into codependent relationships with a darkly comedic twist as a supernatural force starts physically merging them together. The movie blends gross-out, fleshy visuals with humor, recalling The Substance but carving its own unique, squishy niche. Damon Harriman also stars, adding to the unsettling yet funny vibe. Released after a Sundance debut, Together offers a weirdly hilarious take on love, boundaries, and survival, coming July 30th. Weapons. Zach Cregger's Weapons is going to be one of the most terrifying movies of 2025, even scarier than his 2022 hit, Barbarian. The first trailer sets a chilling tone, opening with a child's voice saying, "This is a true story that happened in my town," followed by the eerie fact that an entire class of students disappeared at exactly 2:17 a.m. Julia Garner stars as Justine Gandy, the teacher of the missing class, while Josh Brolin plays Archer Graff, a parent desperate to find answers. The movie explores real fears, especially the nightmare of parents losing their children mysteriously. The trailer hints at a community descending into panic, but it also introduces supernatural elements, flashes of a ravenous crowd, black goo, self-harm, and a child painted like a creepy clown. These unsettling images suggest Weapons will go far beyond a simple thriller about missing kids. Following the success of Barbarian, which shocked audiences with its unexpected twists and darkness, Weapons promises to deliver an equally intense and original horror experience. It appears to lean more into supernatural territory with hints of witchcraft or possession, like characters stepping over a salt barrier to protect themselves from evil forces. Scheduled for release on August 8th, Weapons stands out as an original horror film amid many franchise sequels and remakes, making it a must-watch for anyone looking for fresh, spine-chilling scares. The Toxic Avenger. The Toxic Avenger remake is directed by Macon Blair and stars Peter Dinklage in the iconic role of Toxie, along with Jacob Tremblay and Taylor Page. Set to release on August 29th, this film revives the cult classic splatter franchise from Troma. Known for its over-the-top gore and dark humor, the new Toxic Avenger promises to deliver the same mix of disgusting and hilarious moments fans expect. Peter Dinklage takes on the role of the deformed superhero with a mop and tutu, continuing the tradition of outrageous and gory fun. If you enjoy superhero movies filled with graphic special effects and wild comedy, this one's for you. The Conjuring: Last Rites. The Conjuring: Last Rites is directed by Michael Chavez and stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson reprising their iconic roles as Lorraine and Ed Warren. Ben Hardy also joins the cast in this 9th installment of the Conjuring universe. This film is positioned as the final chapter in the ongoing saga of the Warrens' battles against supernatural evil. Based on the real-life paranormal investigators, the Warrens have been central to this sprawling horror franchise since 2013. While Last Rites may conclude their story, the universe itself will likely continue through various spin-offs featuring haunted dolls, possessed nuns, and other chilling entities. The movie is set to be released on September 5th, closing a significant chapter in one of the most successful horror franchises in recent years. The Long Walk. The Long Walk is a dystopian thriller directed by Francis Lawrence, known for his work on major films like the Hunger Games series. The movie stars Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, and Mark Hamill, with Hamill playing the Major, the ruthless leader of the oppressive police force. Based on one of Stephen King's lesser-known novels, written under his Richard Bachman pseudonym, The Long Walk tells the story of young men forced by the government to compete in a deadly endurance contest where they must keep walking without stopping, until only one survives to claim the grand prize. The film explores themes of survival, control, and the human spirit under extreme pressure. The Long Walk is scheduled for release on September 12th, marking one of the rare adaptations of King's Bachman books. Him. Monkey Paw Productions, Jordan Peele's company behind Nope, Us, and Get Out, is producing Him, a psychological horror with an anti-sports twist. Directed by Justin Tipping, it's set to release on September 19th and could be a big surprise in the horror scene. Him was originally called Goat. The film stars Marlon Wayans and follows a young athlete with big dreams who gets the chance to train with a retiring sports legend. The story takes Tyreek Withers' character on a dark, intense journey into fame, power, and what people are willing to sacrifice for success. While the synopsis makes the horror angle a bit unclear, the trailer gives off some seriously surreal nightmare vibes. The Strangers Chapter 2. The first part of Lionsgate's The Strangers trilogy sequel got mixed reviews since it felt a lot like a remake of Bertino's original horror classic. But director Renny Harlin is hyping up the next chapters, promising they'll dig deeper into the origins of the masked killers in the town of Venus. The story picks up with Maya, played by Madeleine Petsch, as she recovers from the attack in the first film. Petsch is the only confirmed returning cast member, while the new additions to the cast are rumored to be the ones behind the masks, ready to terrorize the final girl. It looks like they're keeping the rest of the cast a secret to keep those identities under wraps until the movie drops. The second chapter is set for release on September 26th. Black Phone 2. 4 years after Scott Derrickson's Black Phone hit big at the box office, Black Phone 2 is set to drop on October 17th. Ethan Hawke is back as the creepy grabber, along with Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw returning as siblings Finney and Gwen. Jeremy Davies and Miguel Mora are also coming back, making this a direct sequel to the first movie. Demian Bashir has joined the cast too, but we don't know what role he'll play yet. The story is written by Joe Hill, the author behind Black Phone 2, and for those who don't know, he's Stephen King's son and has written books that inspired movies like Horns and shows like Nosferatu, Lock and Key, and In the Tall Grass. So far, the Black Phone sequel looks like it'll keep up the King family streak of hits on both the big and small screens. Frankenstein. Netflix's Frankenstein finished filming in September 2024 and is expected to drop on the platform in November 2025. While we don't have a full synopsis yet, director Guillermo del Toro has said Mary Shelley's novel is his favorite, so it's likely he'll stick close to the original story but with his own unique flair. Del Toro has mentioned that this story has had a big influence on his career, making him a great fit to bring it to life, even if it's different from past film versions. Andrew Garfield was originally cast as Frankenstein's creature but had to leave due to scheduling conflicts. Now, Oscar Isaac plays the arrogant scientist Victor Frankenstein, and Jacob Elordi takes on the role of the creature. Mia Goth and Christian Convery are also in the cast, probably as Victor's siblings Elizabeth and William, though their exact roles haven't been confirmed. The only bummer is that this will be a Netflix release instead of hitting theaters, though there's still a chance Netflix might give it a limited theatrical run for Del Toro's film. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is set to hit theaters on December 5th, continuing the story from the 2023 Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Unlike the first film's simultaneous theater and streaming release, this sequel will have an exclusive theatrical run before eventually moving to streaming. The movie follows the haunted animatronics at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, building on the eerie horror atmosphere that made the original game and movie popular. Josh Hutcherson returns as Mike Schmidt, the security guard who faces off against the terrifying animatronics. Matthew Lillard is also back as William Afton, the villainous character who died in the first film, though his exact role in the sequel is still a mystery. Elizabeth Lail reprises her role as Vanessa, who was left in a coma at the end of the first movie, and Piper Rubio returns as Abby, Mike's younger sister. The sequel also introduces new cast members, including Wayne Knight, McKenna Grace, and Tio Briones, but their characters have not been revealed yet. The story details are mostly under wraps, but the teaser trailer revealed at CinemaCon 2025 hints at a return of animatronic chaos and supernatural horror. The trailer shows several intense scenes of animatronics attacking new victims and features a voice announcing "Showtime." Unresolved storylines from the first film, like Vanessa's coma, suggest the sequel will pick up on those threads while adding new twists to the horror narrative. Directed by Emma Tammy and written by Seth Cuddeback, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is produced by Jason Blum and Scott Cawthon, the creator of the original games. With its mix of suspense, supernatural elements, and animatronic terror, the sequel looks set to expand the franchise's chilling world and deliver plenty of scares. Anaconda. The Anaconda remake is set to arrive on Christmas Day, taking a wildly different approach from the original 1997 horror film. Instead of a straightforward monster movie, this new version is a meta-comedy that plays with the classic story. The original Anaconda starred Jennifer Lopez as a documentary filmmaker navigating the dangers of the Amazon jungle, including a giant man-eating snake. Although the first film was cheesy and not well received by critics, it gained cult status over the years and led to several sequels. This remake flips the concept by focusing on an aging group of actors who head into the jungle to remake a movie from their prime years. The story keeps the key element of a giant snake, but the tone is comedic and self-aware, reflecting on Hollywood and the actors' own careers. Writer and director Tom Gormican, known for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, leads the project, promising a spoof that also pays tribute to the original. The cast includes Paul Rudd and Jack Black as the fading stars, with other notable names like Daniela Melchior, Thandie Newton, Steve Zahn, and Selton Mello joining in undisclosed roles. Filming wrapped in early March 2025, so the movie looks set to meet its holiday release target. Well, that's it for today. Which upcoming horror movie are you most excited to see? Or is there a franchise reboot you're hoping will finally do the original justice? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.